Dear students, how are you? Today we'll continue our lesson or our collection 7, The Elements of Poetry. Last week we took some definitions. We will revise it by the end of this video. But first of all, we have to answer the question of this collection. So let's start solving. Circle the letter of the best answer to each of the following items. Number one. The words snap, crackle, and pop are examples of alliteration, rhyme, onomatopoeia, meter. Again, alliteration, rhyme, onomatopoeia, and meter. What would be the answer? The answer would be, yup, it would be C. It would be onomatopoeia. Yeah, that's correct. As I told you before, onomatopoeia is the sound of the things, just like ticking of a watch, just like cracking of something, and so on. Have you got it? I think you remember it. Number two, which sentence below contains a simile? Means which of these sentences refers or contains simile? The tortoise were as hot as the sun. The tortoise burned my open hand. The tortoise flew into our mouse. The tortoise sat on the table lonely. Which one is correct? Yep, that's correct. It would be A. It would be A. Were as hot as, because I used as. Yeah, you remember that in simile I use as or like. Ideas in poems are usually organized into epics, ballads, stanzas, or meters. I mean, in which form would you put or organize your ideas? In stanzas. Yeah, stanza. I think you remember. What do I mean by stanza? The group of lines which you find in the poem. Yeah. Number four, imaginary. When poets use imaginary, they are choosing words that have stressed and unstressed syllables, appeal to your senses, repeat sounds and rhymes, stand for something else. What would be? Yup, it would be B. Appeals to your sense. Yeah, that's correct. Because, as I told you before, imagery related to your sense and it appeals your sense. Number five. When poets evoke strong, I think we remember this word, evoke. Okay. Again, when poets evoke strong feeling in you, they summarize a feeling in you, draw out a feeling in you, associate a feeling in you, deny a feeling in you. So what would it be? It would be, yup, it would be B. Draw out a feeling in you. Draw out a feeling means that it gets up or gets out feeling inside you. A feeling which you can't express. A feeling which you can't express. Number six. What word means purpose, plan, or aim? It would be interpretation. It's written in your book, by the way. Interpretation, intent, connection, and describe. So which one is correct? It would be, yup, intent. Yeah, that's correct. Number seven. A song or song-like poems that tells a story is called a narrative poem, lyric poem, epic, or ballad. It would be ballad, guys. It would be ballad. This type of poem is a song or song-like poem that tells a story. The repetition of a sound or of sounds in a poem is an example of. The repetition of sounds in a poem is an example of simile, onomatopoeia, meter, alliteration. I think we took it before. It is alliteration. Yep, it is alliteration. It would be alliteration. Yeah. Number 9. Restating a line, sentence, or stanza in your own words is called, means if you want to write or rewrite any stanza in any poem. It's called paraphrasing, rereading, identifying, reviewing. It would be paraphrasing. Yeah, that's correct. It would be paraphrasing. A. Okay. Now let's go to number 10, the last one. It would be each poem has its own sound, which you can hear more distinctly by writing poem on paper, reading the poem silently, drawing a picture of the poem, reading the poem aloud. I think it would be 10. It would be D, reading the poem aloud. Okay. Now the last question. Choose the word in parentheses that best complete each sentence. Draw a line under that word. We had a hard time understanding the author's intent or interpretation, and as a result, felt that the book was confusing and aimless. So, which one is correct, guys? From these two words, intent or interpretation, it would be intent. It would be intent. It means aim or purpose. The composer told the interviewer that the purpose of his symphony was to evoke or intent a sense of longing in the listener. Which one is correct? Evoke or intent? When I find sense is related to, guys, yup, it is related to evoke. Draw up or draw out. Okay? Sense is related to evoke. Number 3. We each wrote a paper explaining the meaning of the sonnet and describing how we arrived at that association or interpretation, guys. It would be interpretation. Yeah, that's correct. The last choice, the painter obviously meant the viewers to draw associations or intent between here, guys. I'm speaking about relation between two things, between his painting and feeling of grief. It means sadness. So here, guys, if I speak about relationship between two things, I use association. Yeah, that's correct. Association or association. Yeah, association. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, by the end of this lesson, I want you to revise with me some important definitions which we studied in this collection. Rhyme scheme, the pattern in which end rhyme occur. Rhythm, the placement of sounds in time. Alliteration, repetition of the initial consonant sounds. Meter is a stressed and unstressed syllables pattern in poems. Stressed and unstressed syllable pattern in poem. Okay, guys. By the way, guys, just for knowledge, I want to tell you about the stressed and unstressed syllables. I have to tell you that stressed syllables are strong syllables, but unstressed syllables are weak syllables. So how do I know the stressed and unstressed syllable? In a stressed syllable, you will find it long and have full vowel sounds, but the unstressed syllables are short and often have a reduced vowel sounds. Okay? Thank you very much, my dears. I hope that I helped you. Study well and have a good time. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.